Hi, my name is Jason Robinson, and I'm representing Grocerynet. And today, I'm offering you a unique opportunity to invest in a team and a company that has a product and a platform that's going to revolutionize the grocery store industry for the consumer as well as the supplier. Every year, the United States throws away approximately 133 billion pounds of food. And a grocery store is responsible for about 10% of that waste. If we look at it from a revenue standpoint, take for instance Kroger that has approximately 2,500 grocery stores nationwide. If we value just 1 pound of that waste or that thrown away food at 1 penny, Kroger stands to lose $9.5 million every year. If you bump it up to 50 cents a pound, you're looking at nearly $500 million of potential lost revenue every year. On the consumer side of things, we're looking at 53 hours being spent in the grocery store every year. For me, that's just too much. And for you, that should be too much as well. I get anxiety just going to the grocery store. I'll avoid rush hour. I'll leave work, drive 15 minutes to 20 minutes back home, to drive 20 minutes back the opposite direction later on in the evening when I know lines are going to be shorter, just so I don't have to have that awful experience of waiting in line for a freaking hour, trying to check out my groceries and then go home, but only to realize that I fall within that 40% bracket and I need to go to a whole nother store to get a couple extra items, or maybe even another store after that to get another extra item that my wife may need. That's not good enough, and we can do better. What's the solution? The solution is Grocerynet. It's our 60 plus years of combined experience in data analytics and consumer marketing. We have the platform, we have the team, we have the know-how. We can create an ecosystem of partners with cascading effects that will go branch all the way out to supply chain, distribution, manufacturing. This shared data will allow you as a grocery store or any one of those other entities to maintain your focus on your primary goal while we do the role of providing you the information, the intelligent information that's necessary for you to know your customer. What the value proposition is this: you can fine-tune your inventory. No more will I show up as a consumer and wonder if you have what I need. I know you have what I need because you know me. Second of all, it's going to be a more efficient supply chain. It's going to reduce operating costs. Let's look at it from a consumer standpoint from our application. You know, you go to the grocery store these days and they call something an express lane. I don't look at it as express lane. Half the time I'm waiting just as long in that line. Well, this application is going to be a handheld express lane. We're bringing the express lane to you. You'll be able to scan barcodes and pay for them in-app and walk out the store. That makes it consumer friendly, and at the same time, it's also going to reduce operating costs based off how much manpower you have to have there at the store, checking people out. What's the business model? Well, we're looking at selling data. That's how we're going to make money. That's what our team's best at. That's how we're going to thrive in this ecosystem. That's how we're going to help our partners. We're going to develop service level agreements and provide a minimum of a 3% margin increase for 1% of every consumer's checkout total. On average, we're looking at give you 3%, you give us 1% back. That's not a bad deal. We're also going to give in-app advertising. Who's our consumer? Well, it's any adult with a smartphone. Truly, any adult with a smartphone. Approximately 185 million adults in the United States currently, and roughly 3/4 of them have a smartphone. Second, we're going to target every single grocery store, big or small, chain or no chain. It's 38,000 of them, approximately 38,000 currently in the United States. It's a good customer base. Competition. Well, there's a number of competing applications out there. I've listed a few here, and you'll see some big names like Amazon Go, maybe Walmart. But I wonder if any of you have even heard of these applications. They offer a lot of similar benefits that we're going to offer to the consumer. However, that's where it differentiates quite a bit. We're not consumer driven. We're consumer driven in the fact that we're trying to gather the consumer's information. However, we're not trying to just build an app for the consumer. We're building it as a platform for partners so they can utilize the information gathered to help the consumer in a more effective way. We're not so worried about giving you coupons or a little device a way that you can make your own little grocery list. We're going to give you those benefits, such as our scan to cart and walk out the door. However, we're in the market of selling data. Another thing I want to bring to mind is, if you've never even seen these applications, the one thing our company is going to do very well is we're going to market. We're going to market our application. We're going to make sure you know about it. I'm going to get a little bit more into that as we move on here. Let's look at some of the revenues. These are very conservative revenues, mind you. Very realistic. Look at first year estimate, a high of $7.5 million and a low of 1.3. We're looking to fall right in the middle there. I don't see any reason why we can't do it, and I pretty much foresee it at around $5 million. 5-year forecast, 11.5. Very conservative again. Very conservative. The vision. What we're looking for in the first 6 months is to partner with 2 major grocery store chains. I think Kroger and Safeway up there as examples, but no matter. We're looking at partnering with 2 at the 6 months. That's our goal, and I know we can accomplish that. And then move on to making sure that we can establish 50% of the partner store consumers, get them on board using the application so we can start gathering our data. And that's where I go back to saying we're going to market this application. We're not going to tell the grocery store now that you became a customer or a partner of ours that, hey, not only do you need to sell goods, you need to start marketing this app so that, hey, we can start getting some information. No. You're part of the ecosystem. You focus on selling goods, we'll focus on getting the data. And we'll also make sure that we know our platform is necessary for us to get the data. We will do that part. You partner with us, and we're going to make sure we're out there working our butts off to make sure your consumers are going to use that application. We're looking at 50% within the first 6, and we're going to strive to get 80% at the 1-year mark. The future growth, if you look at that total around the Kroger and Safeway, about 3,700 stores, that's roughly 10% of the market. I think we can do 25% of the U.S. market. I really do. And then we're going to shoot for Canada next, and then shoot for Mexico next. Bordering countries, disruptive in the nature of the supply chains, manufacturing, stick with the whole ecosystem, and I know we can do very well that way. What do we need from you? How much are we asking for? $250,000. Where is it going to go? It's going to go into infrastructure and mainly back to staff, because that's where it's needed. That's where nobody can do better than we can. We have the skill set. We have the capabilities. We know how to analyze data and put it back out there for people to use it as value. What do you get? Return on your investment. 2 times invested, pay over 5 years. 20% interest on your money, as well as a 5% share of the company. That's a great deal. I'm going to tell you, it's a great deal. I hope you consider this. And again, Jason Robinson, this is Grocerynet representing Team 11.